Hey there, welcome back to Inside. I'm Rachel, and we're here now with Caleb from Foster Financial chatting all about the Secure Act 2.0, something we talked about last week. But Caleb, you're here to kind of jump into it more. So for those who missed last week and didn't hear what Heather had to say, what is the Secure Act? What are we expecting?
Yeah, so it's a lot. So she kind of went over the maybe 5 or 6 really big changes that investors can expect to see. But what I really wanted to do is kind of just go one big change per week and sort of dive really deep into it so that you know the everyday retiree understands how it's going to affect them.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so much to it. How many pages is it again?
Oh my, it's like thousands, of course, like with everything. It was part of some big like omnibus federal spending bill, so there's a lot in there. But really the one I kind of wanted to touch on today was the fact that the age that RMDs start is changing. So in 2022, if you turned 72, you were required to start taking money out of your pre-tax retirement accounts. And basically the reason the government makes you do this is because all that money is pre-tax, and they say, hey, it's time to start taking this out and paying taxes on it. That's the kind of key thing that they want you to do. In 2023, that age changes from 72 to 73. So of course, if you turned 72 last year, you were required to take it, and that means you're turning 72 this year, so you still have to take it. I think the people that this affects probably the most are the people who are turning 72 this year, because under previous legislation, they would have been required to take a minimum distribution this year. Now, they're not required until they turn 73, which would be next year. So it's just important to kind of keep that in mind. I think overall this is probably a good thing because it gives investors a little more flexibility. They can of course still take money out if they want to. They're just not required to for an additional year.
Well, and you mentioned it there that there's a few things when it comes to age, but for those, I mean, how do they know that this will affect them personally? Is it just the age that we can look at?
Yeah, really the age. If they turn 73, kind of from here moving forward, that's when they know they have to start these required minimum distributions. And of course, since the government likes to make it complicated, in 2033, they actually raise it again to age 75. And kind of part of the reason is just because people have longer life expectancies and things like that. But I mean, overall, it provides flexibility, which is a good thing. But there are things to kind of be aware of. So if people don't have to take these required minimum distributions as early, it basically lets the money in their retirement account grow for a little longer, which can actually cause required minimum distributions to be really large when they do start. So, for example, if somebody, you know, at the age of 72, if they were going to have $1 million in their IRA, let's say, their RMD might be let's say in the $30,000 range. And let's just say that doesn't really push them up into a higher tax bracket. Now, if they get to wait until, let's say 75, that $1 million could grow to 1.4 million, let's say, if it was a couple good years in the market, and then their RMD might be $45,000 or $50,000. And so in that case, it could push them up into a higher tax bracket. So all these changes, just you kind of need to be aware of them and talk to a financial advisor to see how it's going to impact you.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point that I always like to mention too, is Foster Financial, you guys are there to answer those questions that people just really might not know the answers to. I mean, there's people who maybe the financial side's not their expertise, like me. So are you guys really a good place to start with this?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even if people don't know the right questions to ask, I mean, we'll make sure that we ask them and kind of put you on the right track there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And Heather was talking last week. She's like, I think I'm on page 400 now, and I'm still going through it. And there's just so many changes, and you almost need someone to maybe walk alongside you in this, just like Foster Financial, because they know and they read the fine lines that a lot of us miss. So we appreciate you guys for that. So thank you, Caleb, for being here. And of course, if you have financial questions yourself, call the number on your screen for a complimentary consultation today.